Well, my videos are not going to be perfect because I'm not planning on editing them. If I ever make any money doing this, then maybe I'll buy some editing software. I'm just going to post the one thing that I know, and that's even though it's about weight loss. Even though I don't consider myself to be successful, but I have lost over 100 pounds, and I am basically on a plateau. I went from 4:30 to I was 3:30 this morning, but I've been about there for months. Not last year, but the year before, I fasted 37 days, not in a row, but my whole plan was to, do alternate day fasting, which did work. The other thing I planned on doing was only eating one meal a day, and that worked. The other thing that I wanted to do was not eat any carbohydrates at all, and that does work. I've learned how to really make good food, chicken breast, steak, hamburger, stuff like that. I learned how to make it actually taste good. Giving up seed oil was hard because I love mayonnaise. Luckily, I've learned how to make mayonnaise out of butter. And it's basically butter and egg, and the recipe's online. You can get it on YouTube. Back to all the videos I watched. Like I said, I listened to Living La Vida Low Carb, over 1,200 episodes, and they're like longer than an hour a piece, and a lot of them are doctor interviews. And so I started to believe the science of low carb, but it always scared me because I've suffered from atrial fibrillation. Honestly, I've been hospitalized 23 different times for irregular heartbeat, and I've been cardioverted, where your heart stops and they have to start you again. So I've had some fear about that. When I first went on low carb, one time I was in supraventricular tachycardia with AFib, and I was in an ambulance and got taken to the hospital. And I mentioned that I was eating a low carb diet, the Atkins diet. And in the hospital, they said, that's why I'm in AFib. They were like, oh yeah, it's definitely low carb. Of course, that was, 23 visits ago, and I've lost, I've learned a lot of things since then. I've only been hospitalized for AFib, I guess maybe once in the last 20 years. It was prior to that I kept being hospitalized, and I think it was because back then I used to drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes, and I knew that I had to lose weight. I mean, you're in the 400s and you're smoking and drinking, you're just got a death wish. And dying is scary. Laying in the hospital thinking you're going to die sucks. And I was just like praying, where's the middle of my life? Was what I wanted to know, because it was basically over for me. And I know if I wouldn't have quit drinking, I wouldn't have lived. And I know if I wouldn't have quit smoking, I wouldn't have lived. And now I'm feeling like if I don't, lose another 100 pounds or get down, I need to lose another 130 and get under 200. I'm 63 years old. And, again, the thing that bothers me most about trying to learn how to eat low carb and keto and carnivore is nobody will tell you exactly what they eat. So for me, it's really easy. I go to Burger King for breakfast and I get a double croissant, which I get two double croissant, which with sausage. So it's 2 sausage patties, 2 pieces of cheese, and a scrambled egg. And then I just, don't eat the bread. I get 2 of those, but unfortunately that's about 1,100 calories, and then if I don't eat that, if I don't eat anything, by lunchtime, I like to go to McDonald's. Same thing, I get 2 double quarter pounders with cheese. And, if I'm being good, I don't get anything on it. Otherwise, I'll get like extra mayonnaise and extra pickles. Or I'll just get extra pickles so that the cheese doesn't stick to the bun, because, again, I don't eat the bread. Problem is, that's another, 1,200 calories. The best days for me are the days that I don't eat anything at all, and then I go home. And if you don't have a sous vide, you need to get one, because it takes any steak and make it taste like filet mignon. I've been buying top sirloin for $6 a pound at the chef store, and I put it at 135 degrees in the sous vide for, say, 48 hours. Then I take it out and fry it in butter for about 15 seconds on each side. Spectacular. And I do the same thing with chicken breasts, which are really hard to eat because they're dry. You want to cook them to the right temperature, to 165 degrees, and they're dry and they taste terrible unless you bread them in some sort of more calories or carbs or whatever. But 4 hours in the sous vide, and then take them out and fry them for about 15 seconds. I cook them at 150 degrees, and it's good for dinner. I'll share everything that I eat, but frankly, that's kind of what's been going on. I've been eating at Burger King or McDonald's, and then I get home and I eat either a couple of steaks or a couple of hamburgers and some fried eggs, and that's still keeping me at 330 pounds. It's too many calories, and I want to get back to where I'm only eating one meal a day. But I watch all these videos. I've seen every Dr. Berry video. I've seen every Dr. Fung video. I've seen just about everything that Dr. Chafee has said. I've seen every Ben Bickman video, and all the other people. I've seen literally all their videos. I'm an Uber driver. I'm in the car 12 hours a day, and I've been consuming this stuff at an alarming rate. I've watched them so much, I virtually can finish all of their sentences for them. I know exactly what they're going to say. And we all like to watch it because it gives you, motivation. But after about the 10,000th time, when you're on a plateau, the problem is like today. Today it's 11:02 a.m. I got up at 1 a.m. I went to work at 4 a.m., 7 or 8 hours ago, and I'm hungry. Every time I don't have a passenger or don't have a ride and I'm driving by Burger King or McDonald's, it's all I've been thinking about. But, here I am again, needing to lose weight. This year, or on the 2025, I got down as low as 308 pounds, and then just gradually started, gaining weight again. Now I'm 330 again. So, I know the answer is don't eat. But, I was watching a video from Carnivore. I can't remember her name. She's the English lady, and she was saying that she ate only hamburger, and it made her heart beat irregularly, so she stopped doing it. And these are the things that I fear. My plan is, and my plan has been, I've written it 1,000 times. Since I'm having problem with my blood sugar, my plan is simple: just don't eat anything until my blood sugar falls below 100. Makes perfect sense. The problem is, if I eat anything, if I eat hamburger patties and fried eggs, and then I don't eat anything, my blood sugar will not fall below 100 for at least 4 days. And I know this because I've never made it. The longest I ever fasted was 5 days. But, the problem is, if I eat, I didn't even check my blood sugar today. If I don't eat anything, nothing. I haven't even had a sip of water all day, nothing. If I get home at 4 o'clock this afternoon, 3 o'clock, and I check my blood sugar, it'll probably be 180, if I'm lucky, maybe 200. And if I don't eat anything today, and then I get up in the morning, Of course, the dawn effect, we've all heard about that a million times. I'm going to get up in the morning, my blood sugar is going to be 250, and then I don't eat anything all day tomorrow. I get home from work, maybe if I'm lucky, my blood sugar will be 160 or 180. And then I don't eat anything tomorrow, and then the next day, I get up again the day after tomorrow, and again my blood sugar will be 250. And then if I don't eat anything all day, maybe my blood sugar will be down to 160 or 170. I've only found one thing that can bring my blood sugar down after 3 days of not eating, and my blood sugar still won't go down. If I eat, it makes my blood sugar go down. Like if I haven't eaten anything in 3 days and my blood sugar is still 180, I know that if I eat some eggs or some hamburger, sometimes the insulin response will drive my blood sugar down to, once I saw it go down to 109. But, I've seen it go down to 130 once or twice. But it's hard for me to go 4 days without food. I'd like to not eat anything until my blood sugar falls below 100, then eat a meal, then see how many days it takes for it to fall below 100, or do like Dr. Fung says and start by eating once every 30, or start out with a 36-hour fast a couple of times a week. It's not that easy. For some reason, when I don't eat for days at a time, I get really hungry. And, then if you've ever, fasted for a couple of days, then you eat something and then you get diarrhea. So since I work in my car, I can't let that happen, which means that if I don't eat, I'm not going to eat until I get home. So that's it. I'm not going to edit any of my videos. They're embarrassing. I look fat and gross, and, I'm not currently successful. I was honestly planning on doing this for years. For years, when I was in the 400s, I thought, well, low carb, keto, great. I'll lose 250 pounds. I'll get down to 200. I'll exercise a lot. I'll feel great, and I'll be like an influencer. I'll look so good. Everybody will ask me how I lost 200 pounds, and then I could make a living being a trainer or something. I was planning on never revealing anything about myself until I was successful. And I'm not sure that that's ever going to happen. So I am going to post these. I'm going to post them every single day, no matter what. And I'm going to tell the truth about what I eat, which I think is more rare than people believe. It would really be hard to be a hardcore carnivore influencer and then, drink a milkshake. Are you going to turn around and tell everybody? So I'm going to be honest about it. I'm going to post what I eat. I am going to, tell the truth. I'm going to give my weight, and I'm going to give what I ate the previous day. So right now, if you'll bear with me, I'll tell you exactly what I ate yesterday. Give me just a second, a moment of silence here. So I'm 330.8 today. Looking at Gmail. Dang it. Look at my Gmail from where my weight is from yesterday. Yesterday I was 331.6. The day before I was 331.8. The day before that, on the 12th, I was 332.4. So yeah, down, down just a little bit. And here's what I ate yesterday. Let's see, I wrote today's Wednesday. I think it's the 14th of January. Yesterday on Tuesday, I did this at 4 o'clock this morning. Today's Wednesday. I think it's the 14th of January. Yesterday on Tuesday, I ate breakfast before work. I ate about 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. I ate lunch at McDonald's. I had cheese with mayonnaise, pickle, and tomato. I got home and I ate one chaffle burger. Chaffle is a waffle made of cream cheese and egg. with a hamburger and cheese and homemade Thousand Island dressing. The homemade Thousand Island dressing is butter mayonnaise, which is fabulous. You can get the recipe on YouTube, and you can make mayonnaise out of butter instead of oil. It's really good. It also has sugar-free ketchup in it and sugar-free relish. What I ate for breakfast before work, I had a sous vide chicken breast that I had cut up, and about 3 or 4 boiled eggs. And instead of putting the butter mayonnaise on it, which I really love, I call it Knidwar, Knidwor. And what that is, Ken's Northern Italian dressing with oil removed. I buy Ken's Italian dressing, and it's got gross soybean oil in it. And I just dump out all the soybean oil and use AI or whatever to calculate the macros. But if you dump out all of the oil, that whole bottle of dressing only has a couple hundred calories and like 16 carbs. And I did that instead of butter to save the calories. But even though I ate it, I still got hungry and went to McDonald's. And then, there you go.